I'm Archdeacon Bill Gray, and I'm the priest of the Anglican parish of Bobcaygeon, Dunsford, and Burnt River. I'm here at Harley Farms, and you can see behind me a great pasture of sheep, and this is lambing season, so if you look closely and listen closely, you can hear and see some lambs that are being born this spring. This is near Keene, Ontario. On Easter 4 in the church calendar, the theme of our Sunday, May 3rd, is the Good Shepherd. We have a lot of identifying numbers that are assigned to us over the course of our lifetime, and as an example for myself, just like you, I have a health card, I have a driver's license, I have a debit card and a credit card, my boating and fishing license. The difficulty with being continually assigned numbers in this way that are used by indifferent institutions who don't know us personally is we can become as persons abstractions and just another statistic. We can become all like these sheep out here that are sometimes nameless and faceless, and we don't know them individually. In this time of COVID-19 pandemic, we have had a lot of numbers thrown at us about the statistics that have affected people's lives during this time of pandemic. But we need to be reminded from time to time that these numbers are not statistics. These represent people that many of us know personally and situations that affect many of us or people we know. A friend of mine who's an Anglican priest who I've known for many years just informed me in the last couple of days that her daughter, who has been a frontline worker in a hospital that we know, has tested positive for COVID-19 virus. She has an asthmatic condition which gives her respiratory complications, and that means that her health and her underlying health conditions are compromised, and this COVID-19 virus could be a real threat to her. At home, she has a little boy who, as a newborn, had heart surgery twice, and also at 4 years of age had kidney surgery. So of course she's worried to an even greater extent that she could carry this virus home to her family, and so she's engaging in extreme self-isolation. I've known this nurse's mother for years when she was a parishioner of mine at a church where we lived before, and she was the nurse in this very same hospital on the medical ward. And in fact, when our daughter Chelsea was born in this hospital, she was of great support and assistance to us in this time. And during that time in our parish, she decided to become an Anglican priest and is now serving a parish herself. And now she has the worry of a daughter that is in need of our prayers. I ask you, please, to offer your prayers on behalf of her daughter. Now, in this time of COVID-19 virus, we think of this image that is given to us this Sunday of Jesus as the Good Shepherd. And what does that mean for us? Well, the many images we're given is that Jesus, as the Good Shepherd, and if we are the sheep, he knows us by name, we recognize his voice, and he offers his protection to us. In the day and age of Jesus, shepherds did not have fenced-in pastures. They grazed rather wildly and at loose, and at night they were gathered into simple stone structures. Perhaps the wall of the circular stone structure would only be about 1 meter or so high, and there would be no established or constructed gate or fence at the doorway. After the sheep, for nighttime resting and safety, enter this enclosure for their security, the shepherd at the gate would often just lie down in front of the gate himself. And that's where we get the expression that Jesus says he would lay down his life for the sheep, just as the shepherd would lie down over the gate to protect the sheep. The sheep to Jesus were not an abstraction, and the shepherd was known to the sheep. They would recognize his voice. He would know the sheep by name, and indeed he would offer his protection to the sheep. This was not representative of a god or a shepherd that was far away or distant, but someone that was close, intimate, and known. There was a relationship, and there was knowledge of one another, and there was trust. There's a story about a Jewish man named Abdiah, who is the founder of the Haifa Symphony in Israel. And once when he was out touring around the countryside, he entered into a village where by accident he came across some dissidents who were upset about the loss of their property and about being displaced and about having a lot of unemployment and poor economy. Something that was known to many families and individuals at this time as well, in this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. And they were angry and had assembled as a mob, and they were looking for someone to take their anger out on, and so they threatened to throw Abdiah down a well and kill him. And they were astonished that Abdiah offered to cooperate with his assailants, and he became serene and stoic, and he offered to walk to the well and have them show him where they wanted to do him harm. So resigned was he to his fate, and so impressed were they by his calmness and purpose that they felt ashamed of themselves, and so they wondered how to get out of this dilemma. And the chief leader of the village said, "I think I have a solution. We'll make this man an honorary member of our village, and he'll become one of us, and he'll no longer be just a name or a statistic or a category of person. Abdiah will be someone we know and have adopted as one of us, and so we can set him free." And that's what they did. It's another indication of the reality of the fact that when a person ceases to be an abstraction or a statistic, when they are known to us, and when we know their identity, we care for them better. The shepherd is one who offers us protection, and yet we know that in this pandemic, many of us are not feeling protected, many are feeling lost, and some are even feeling hopeless. And the Good Shepherd, or our God, feels like someone right now who is distant and far away. One of the things that is never mentioned in this story is there is no judgment made about good sheep or bad sheep. All the sheep are alike to the Good Shepherd, and no one is judged for how they feel, whether they feel hopeless or lost, or whether they feel distant. They still are part of the flock, and they are still loved, honored, and protected by the Good Shepherd. There's an old saying that I've heard in the church for many years: shepherds don't make sheep, only sheep make sheep. It's sort of a way of acknowledging that we have to do our part. Not everything can depend upon the shepherd. When we hear his voice and trust him, we must also offer our care for one another and for the well-being of the flock of sheep. Do you hear the voice of the Good Shepherd? And do you know that that shepherd is near and able to comfort you even if you're feeling lost, and able to protect you from your fears even if you are feeling hopeless? Because the shepherd is good. He knows us by name, and we can hear his voice.